Lions TV, good morning on a freezing cold Thursday in Macclesfield. It's very early in the morning. This is, once again, a little bit of everything, VT, all rolled into one. I found the way I was doing the pre-match predictions, I found them to be a little bit tedious, a little bit repetitive, and I just felt it needed freshening up. So I've changed the format slightly. I love doing the old weekly shows. So every week now, you're going to get your pre-match prediction, but it's going to be tied in with a few other bits and bobs along the way. As I said, we've got to cover Reading's game this Saturday, as well as other stuff. But let's start with a forgotten man at the club, Shane Ferguson. Well, first things first, let's get this out of the way. Shane Ferguson, this one's for you. Because I tell you what, mate, you've showed me in the last few weeks that you've got something that I did not know you had. I've never rated Fergie, that's no secret on this channel. Before I get into that further, I don't dislike Shane Ferguson. I don't know Shane Ferguson. I'm sure he's a lovely bloke. But as a footballer, you know, I don't think he was right for Millwall. And I have my reasons for that. Yes, he can put a lovely cross in. He can't really beat players. What he does is he goes one way, then he cuts back, then he goes back the other way and gets to the byline. And he just sort of does that and zigzags until he gets a yard. Then he gets his cross in. I'm fine with that also. But the thing that Fergie didn't have for me was the Millwall heart. He just didn't have that go in him. And what stuck in my mind was Peterborough away when we lost 5-1. We conceded 3 goals in a very short space of time. And I think when we was 5 or 4-1 down, he came across, there was a corner in front of the Millwall fans, and he didn't want to come over and take it. And I just thought that he didn't have any... An old football coach of mine, Roy Passy, used to call it kick, bollock and bite. He just didn't have that in him. And obviously, to be a Millwall player, you need that. Technically, never had an issue with him. But I just didn't have that sort of fight about him. But the best thing that has ever happened to Shane Ferguson, in my opinion, is getting not frozen out of the first team, but he's not even getting on the bench, is he, for over a year. And I think that's given him a little bit of aggression, a little bit of anger. And funny enough, it is relevant. Mini-Me has had exactly the same sort of thing going on. He got injured. He couldn't get back in his team. He was too nice. He was good on the ball, like Fergie, but he's too nice. And he got dropped the other week. He got a little bit angry. He got man of the match, and he's not been out of the team since. Now, Shane Ferguson, for me, has now got that little bit of aggression, that little kick, bollock and bite that he needs about him. And he is really starting to kick on now. But what Fergie needs to do is he needs to keep that hunger about him. He needs to keep that intensity, because if he loses that, for me, he loses 50% of his game. Sort of tying Fergie's situation in with something else I want to talk about is Scalak and Bradshaw. Bradshaw scored twice the other day for the under-23s in a very good 2-0 win over Watford at the Den. Now, I saw us play Watford last year at Dartford, and they absolutely was streets above at under-23s. Bradshaw scored 2. Okay, 1 was a penalty. Still a good finish. And it's good to see Sean Hutchinson back in that starting lineup as well. But along with that is Scalak. And we've had Aidan O'Brien in, and we've had Morrow in up front and on the left midfield. And people have been crying out, why aren't you playing the new signings? Now, these new signings of Scalak and of Bradshaw, who would have thought it, mate? Honestly, who would have thought it a couple of months ago that you would be saying that Tom Elliott and Shane Ferguson are not only keeping out Morrow and AOB, but they're also keeping out Scalak and Bradshaw. And it just proves, again, what competition for places can do. If Scalak never kicks a football, really, for Millwall, and neither does Bradshaw, but, you know, they're knocking on the door and they're pushing other first-team players for their place, it's not a bad thing. It's an unbelievable turn of events. It really is. And moving on to Big T, Big Tom Elliott, again, not really personally been a fan, but I like my footballers to be technical. Tom Elliott is not that, but he does create havoc. Now, I've been bringing a mate of mine to Millwall recently who is a neutral, and he said to me, what you need in your starting lineup is Tom Elliott, because he just gets amongst it. He just causes havoc. And his combination with Fergie sticking the crosses in from out wide instead of the long diags from Cooper, it is really working, and long may it continue. So, yeah, fair play to Fergie, fair play to Tom Elliott. They both showed me in the last few weeks something I didn't think either of them had. Moving on to this Saturday, we are away to Reading at the Madejski. We are still searching for our first away win of the season, and I think we're going to get it this Saturday. We went there in the midst, in the height, in the glamour of our 17-game unbeaten run last year, and we was by far and away the better side. Goals from Marlon Romeo and Lee Gregory sealed it that day in a 2-0 win for Millwall. I think it's going to be a similar sort of way it's going to go. I think we're going to win the game by 3-1. I think the big dog, Sean Hutchinson, will be back on the bench, which will be brilliant to see because we have missed him. And I really think we can start to put something together again here. We'll win the game comfortably. I'm going to go for Lee Gregory, Jed Wallace. I'm going to go for Jed Wallace to get 2. How about that? On the starting 11, I think and hope and pray it's going to be the same 11. Amos in goal, Romeo at right back, Meredith left back, Cooper. Okay, we'll go with Murray Wallace because Hutchinson won't be ready to come in the starting lineup yet. With Sean Williams and Ryan Leonard, who's been doing very well, by the way, I think, thrown at the deep end. And that's to start games straight off the bat and after his transfer. Then I think it's going to be Shane Ferguson on the left, which I'll be delighted to see. Jed Wallace on the right. And up front, it's going to be Tom Elliott and Lee Gregory. I hope the manager keeps that team. And that might be going against a lot of things I've said on the channel over the years. But again, listen, the channel is just my opinion. It's a fan channel. I'm not right. It's just what I'm putting out there. I don't dislike anyone like Shane Ferguson, like Tom Elliott. I just give my opinion on what I see on the pitch. And again, you know, maybe I've got it wrong. Or maybe Fergie and Tom Elliott are just pushing themselves that extra yard to get in that starting 11. The opposition are Reading. And what can I tell you about Reading? I'll be honest, not a fucking thing. I've done no research. I've been on the road for like weeks of work. And what I can tell you about Reading is, in my mindset, they've always been a very strong championship side. They went up one year, I remember, with record points into the Premier League, and they've always sort of bounced between the two. They got to the playoff final against Huddersfield and lost on penalties 2 years ago, and since then it's just been an absolute shit show. I couldn't even tell you where their manager is, I couldn't tell you who their players are, and I think that speaks volumes about the club in general. We went there last year, as I said, in the middle of our unbeaten run, and it just seems to me like the soul's been stripped out of the club. There was no atmosphere. It reminded me of like a Coventry turnout. So, yeah, they're banging trouble as far as I'm concerned, Reading. I'm pretty sure they're below us in the league, and they will stay there because we're going to beat them this Saturday at the Madejski. Is that all business concluded? No. I said I'd do a giveaway to a subscriber of the channel, and I've picked someone out at random from our Instagram. Archie Worrell, you've won it, mate. Well done. You have won yourself a signed Millwall shirt. That is winning its way to you very shortly. Once I'm home from Northern Territory, I'll stick it in the post, mate. And well done to you for subscribing to the channel. More giveaways to come. But first, please, get 3 points at Reading for me. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.